Hello students, welcome to today's session. This is Sweta, your English Master Teacher at Vedantu. Hope all of you are doing amazing and welcome to the most awaited Sprint X series Pre-Boards 2020. So today we will be dealing with two important poems guys. One is Animals and the second one is The Tale of Custard the Dragon. So I hope you have already visited the previous sessions of Sprint X 2020, right? English sessions and of course the other sessions as well. And I hope you are enjoying it and also equally finding it very helpful, right? So today we will be dealing with, as I told you, two important poems. We will be dealing with the extract based question, the 2-mark questions, the 3-mark questions, as well as the 5-mark questions, right? So let us proceed without further ado with the poem. Okay. So talking about the English schedule, this is the schedule, and this will continue till 15th December, ending with Holi, which is one of my favorites, right? And I think most of yours as well, right? So this is all about the schedule for English. Talking about the other subjects, here we have the schedule for biology, uh, chemistry, math, and physics, and also social studies, right? So this is also going to end. This is going to end on 14th with map work, right? So now we will be studying. We'll be beginning with the session, guys. But before beginning, you know what to do, right? Please do hit the button, hit the like button, and if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do the needful, right? So now, talking about the homework answer of the previous session, guys, this is the answer which I prepared for you guys. So I hope this will be helpful for you. Peggy and Maddie wrote a letter to Wanda informing her about the result of drawing contest which she had won. They also praised her beautiful drawings, and this is the way of actually apologizing, right? So they meant to say sorry, or they were being apologetic for their behavior, okay, which caused or which yes, caused Wanda to leave school, or which compelled Wanda. That would be, I think, a better word. Okay. And then they did not get any reply, however. After some times, Peggy had begun to forget the whole business, but Maddie was surrounded by thoughts of Wanda and everything that happened to Wanda. She felt guilty and decided not to be a silent spectator anymore, right? So that the other, so this is very important, not to be the silent spectator, and this is what we also learn from the character of Peggy. This is a lesson for all of us, that we should not be a silent spectator when we are seeing the other person getting humiliated or getting bullied, or facing any such indiscrimination. Any such discrimination, right? So this is a lesson for all of us, which is actually being highlighted in the lesson. So now moving to the current poem. First of all, thank you so much, Gaurav and Aditya. Thank you so much, and all of you who have posted all your comments, and thank you for your what this one praise, right? Thank you for your appreciation, right? So thank you so much. And now we will be beginning with a beautiful quote. Please look at this beautiful quote. It's quite relevant to the chapter that we are going to, the poem that we are going to right now see and look into. So please have a look. It was pride. It's a beautiful quote, and you'll enjoy this. Please look at this. It was pride that changed angels into devils. Okay. It is humility that makes men as angels. Now you tell me, when it's talking about pride changing angels into devils, do you remember, or can you tell me who was very famous? Okay, this angel was very famous, who was the brightest of all angels, but because of this We also called this pride as hubris. Okay, it's a Greek word, okay, which means pride. Okay, so this pride or hubris is actually, it is regarded as a flaw in human beings. So because of this hubris, he was changed into devil. So do you know, if you know the answer to the question, guys, who was this angel, the very famous angel, who was because of his pride, who went to the hell, okay, changed into a devil, right? Otherwise, he was brightest. He was the brightest of all angels. If you know the answer, guys, do let me know right now in the chat box. And I will be letting you know the answer, but at the end of the class, right? Not right now. Okay, till then, you have got the time to think. So please do think and let me know. Moving ahead, today's first question and the first extract. They do not sweat and whine about their condition. They do not lie awake in the dark and weep for their sins. They do not make me sick discussing their duty to God. Now, this extract, could you tell me in the chat box where has this extract been taken from? Please let me know in the chat box, guys. Okay, so the first question is, of course, this extract has been taken from the poem Animals. Okay, and let us start with the very first question. Why do humans lie awake in the dark? Because of nightmares, weeping for sins, because of insomnia, or none of these? Very simple question. Please, please, please give me the answer in the chat box. Your answer should come within 2 minutes. That is the sprint time, right? So let us have a look at the answer. Yes, so it is definitely weeping for their sins, right? So the humans, they always weep for their sins, and therefore they are they always lie awake in the dark, right? But the animals, according to the poet, okay, the animals, they do not commit any sin, okay? They are very straightforward, okay? They do not have a facade like human beings have, okay? Outwardly something else, and within themselves they are something else. The animals, whatever they are inside, they are the same outside. So they do not have to hide anything, and they do not commit any sin. So therefore they have no guilt. They have no conscience, the prick of the conscience that the humans have. And therefore, because of this prick of the conscience that humans have, they always lie awake in the dark, weeping for their sins, right? Moving ahead, what do humans do about their condition? Cry and hide from their condition, cry and pray to change their condition, sweat and whine about their condition, or both? B and C. Come on. Please do let me know the answer in the chat box. So it is it is sweat and whine about their condition, straight away from the passage this has been taken from. So nobody should give me the wrong answer here. Okay, moving ahead. Moving ahead is the next question. Which word is opposite to good deeds? Okay, opposite is antonym, as I told you. Okay, good deeds. Sin, whine, dark, or weep? Let's have a look. Very simple question. Come on, give me the answer in the chat box within 2 minutes. So let us have a look at the answer. It is definitely sins. Opposite of good deed is sin. Okay, great. Now coming to the next passage, which is taken from the next poem, that is Tale of the Custard Dragon. Okay, so here the pirate gaped at Belinda's dragon and gulped some grog from his pocket flagon. He fired 2 bullets, but they didn't hit, and Custard gobbled him every bit. Okay, so this is a humorous poem. I have already done this poem in the Umang series. I think I have done it in either in the Umang series or in the English channel. I have done it in one channel, and I will be doing it in the other channel as well. Animals, it's still left to be done. Don't worry, I will be doing that as well. Okay, right. So what did the pirate do on seeing the dragon? Options: gulped some wine from his bottle, fired 2 bullets at the dragon, got scared and hid himself. None of the above. Okay, so let me take you back to the passage. Look at this. The pirate gaped at Belinda's dragon and gulped some grog from his pocket flagon. Okay, so quickly tell me the answer, guys. It is definitely gulped some wine. So on seeing the dragon, immediately he gulped some wine, and later on he fired bullets, but he definitely missed, right? So that is the correct answer. Moving ahead to the next question. What did Custard do to the pirate? Okay, Custard, okay, burned him down with his fire, swallowed the pirate and left no trace of him, attacked the pirate and killed him with its claws, or none of the above. Very simple question, guys. Come on, let me know the answer. Okay, so yes, most of you would be correct. Custard swallowed the pirate and left no trace of him. Okay, chalo. So how many of you have got all your answers correct till now? Give me a quick high five in the chat box. Okay, chalo. Next question is, which word means the same as swallow? Very simple. Means the same, meaning synonym. Okay. Please make sure that you know the meaning of synonym and antonym, and you know the difference between them. Okay, don't get confused. Most of you, most of the students get confused. Either they have, given the synonym instead of antonym, or vice versa. So please do not do that. Please be careful. So flagon, gobble, gaped, or none of the above. Very simple. Come on, guys. Answers. Okay. Answer is gobble, and your homework is to tell me, not homework, do let me know in the chat box the meaning of the word flagon and gaped. Come on. In the comment box, please do let me know the meaning of the word flagon and gaped. I have already mentioned the word meanings in the Umang series when I was teaching you this lesson, this poem. So please, you should know the word meanings of each and every word from this poem. Okay, so please type the meanings of these two words as well, because that is also important for your knowledge. Moving to the short question for 2 marks, guys. The first question, what does the poet mean by not one is respectable or unhappy over the whole earth? So your first task is to tell me from where is this extract being taken. Okay, how many of you can guess? Let me see. So guys, for your information, this has been taken from the poem Animals, right? Okay, so now what does the poet mean when he says that no one is respectable? Not one is respectable or unhappy. So first part is when he is saying that not one is respectable, he is talking about equality. Okay? He's talking about the concept of equality which is there in the animal world. Equality is there in the animal world, right? So animal world may plus, and which is not there in the human world. Okay, so we do not have equality in the human world, right? So in the human world, what happens is we respect some people and the others are looked down upon, right? And the second part which he's talking about, 1 second, let me change the color so that it's clear to you. The color लूं, okay. एक तो रेडी हो गया वापस. एक सेकंड अरे 1 minute. Right, so so next part is unhappy over the whole earth. So who is unhappy over the whole earth? Humans are unhappy. Why? Because they always crave, they're craving for, or desire for what? Materialistic things. Materialistic things. Okay, right? But the animals, they do not run after worldly possessions, right? So you can also say worldly possessions. Okay, so they do not run after worldly possessions, whereas the human beings do run after worldly possessions, and that is why they are very unhappy, right? So this is what I have framed in the answer as well. The poet means that the animals do not pray to God and to ancestors. So they have no God, they do not pray, they do not even show respect to their ancestors. That means here by saying that they do not pray or do not show any respect or to the ancestor, here he means to actually talk about the concept of equality, right? So he's talking about the concept of equality here. There is no big or small in the world of animals. Everybody is equal, right? And Therefore, no one is respectable, more respectable. Okay. So the good values of human beings and the lack of social convention make them unhappy. And you also talk about the worldly possession, which I have also mentioned. Right? So definitely the good values of animals and the lack of social conventions, right? So good values as in better word, better to say, the simplicity of animals. Okay, simplicity rather than saying good values, you can say that there's simplicity of animals and the lack of discrimination. Simplicity, then lack of discrimination. Okay, that makes them better, that makes them happy, and yes, their contentment as well. Contentment. So these are the points that you should also add here, right? Moving ahead with the next, these are very important points, guys. Please don't miss out these points, right? Please add them along with this answer. That will be definitely plus point. Next is, what did Custard look like? So how did he look like? I have already described his physical appearance, starting from, his spikes on the top, scales underneath to protect his skin, his mouth compared to a fireplace, right? He was a fire-breathing dragon, nose like a chimney, so his nose is compared with chimney, and his toes were sharp like. So this is what I call as textual question. This you will not, this is completely taken directly from text. Okay, so this is direct textual question, and in these kind of question there is actually no scope of creation. Okay, there is not much scope of creation. So direct textual question, you just need to answer that from the text. You just need to pick it up from the text and write in your own words. Okay, that is all. And no creativity is required here. So these types of questions are very scoring. Okay, these are very scoring. So if you get a choice between a question which is direct text based, and there is another question which is related to a little bit of creativity or value based, so I would say I would differentiate between text based and value based. If you get a question between these two, I mean option between these two, then I would prefer to I would recommend you to choose these direct textual questions. Okay, because these are very scoring. If you directly give whatever is given in the text, you are very, you get full marks, right? Without any efforts, without much efforts. And these questions where you have scope of creativity, definitely, but here the again with scope of creativity, the scope of subjectivity also increases, right? So that is why these are less scoring. So for exam purpose, definitely if you have an option between these kind of questions, where let's say when I talked about did I talk about another one? Right, let's say you have a choice between this one, okay, this question and this question. So I would tell you to go with this, because here you see you have a lot of you have to create a lot of things, right? It's a, it's a here you have to give a lot of explanation. A lot of explanation is required. So when you give a lot of explanation, so what happens is it becomes more subjective, so the subjectivity increases. Okay. Okay, so that is why when the subjectivity increases, there is a scope that if the examiner is not very satisfied, he or she will be giving you either 1.5 or a 1 out of 2. But here, if you give all the points correctly from the text, you can straight away score a 2 out of 2. Right? So I would be definitely recommending you to choose these kind of questions. Okay, guys, so now tell me, are you enjoying the session? If yes, then do give me a thumbs up in the chat box, and do tell me whether you want to join us and gain 100% knowledge and score 100% marks, and have unlimited live classes with fun and high-level quizzes, compete with the students throughout the world, interactive replays with live quizzes and leaderboards, premium downloadable content with handwritten notes of the master teacher, And the best part is you get your doubts solved inside the class live, where you get to interact with your class teachers and the master teachers. So we have an entire team catering to your doubt solving, which has been the most, the biggest issue, right, related to teaching, learning, related to education, which the students are right now facing. And this is a kind of hindrance in their path of education, which we are definitely trying to remove, and we have already solved this problem, right? And plus you are definitely getting assignment after each and every session, along with the notes after each and every session. And we take quality tests, right? So this will enable your complete revision. It will give you proper structure to education, which is currently lacking, right? So we do not want any hurdle in the path of your education, guys. And you will get free 5,000 plus micro courses and crash courses for competitive exams. So these 2 years, 9th and 10th, guys, you need to prepare yourselves not only for the board exam but for your future as well. So if you have too many doubts, if your doubts are not being catered to, if you are not getting proper notes, then what happens is you don't understand the concept properly. The depth of the understanding is not there, which will be a major problem not only for the board exam but later on as well, right? So that is what we are providing here, and this is only and only meant for you guys. So that too in less price, so more classes in less price, guys. Now let's do the tabai maths over here. But before that, guys, don't forget to visit the link in the description box and the pinned comment, and don't forget to use the code SWRPRO. Now this code has actually a magical, this code is magic. Now how is this magic? Let me show you that magic here. So let's do the tabahi math, guys. You have 1 month and 3 month subscription, guys, and using the coupon code you can see what magic is it's doing. You have to pay just 2159 for 1 month instead of 2699, right? So yes, you are saving quite a lot using this coupon code. And for 3 months you pay 5599, that which comes down to 2333 per month, right? So here also you are saving 14%. Right, guys, so which actually comes down to per class price. If you look at that, it comes down to 9 rupees per class for 3 months and 11 rupees per class for 1 month, right? So which is definitely quite cheap, right? So as I told you, you will get more more number of classes than than what you have to pay, right? So what you need to do is just visit the link in the description box and use the coupon code SWRPRO. Resuming with the session and starting with the 3-mark question, guys. We have the 5th question. Explain the satisfaction that animals have and humans don't. So now, why do animals have satisfaction and humans don't? Very simple, because animals lead a very simple life. So animals, they have, simplicity. These are the qualities. They have contentment. They do not run after, not hanker, or do not, okay, after worldly pleasures, right? Right. So that is why they are more and more satisfied. So let us have a look at the answer. So they do not have the desire to possess worldly things, whereas the more humans own, the more their desire to own grows, leaving them dissatisfied forever. We have done this in the poem Fire and Ice as well, where we have seen how this, unbridled desire, okay, what did we see? This unbridled, okay, desire in human beings, they can cause the catastrophic end of the earth, right? So the same thing is mentioned here, and they are compared with the animals who, according to the poet, is placed on the higher pedestal. Usually, what do we see? That we place humans in a higher pedestal, but actually, according to the poet, the animals are on a higher pedestal. Why is that so? Because they are way more simple, they have a simple life, and the values that they show are definitely more than what the humans have, right? So they are not greedy like the humans. So absence of this greed, they live for just their survival. So they do not desire too many things. Okay, whatever is needed for their survival, that is what they try to have, and they that also without any complaints, right? So the animals of this the absence of this greed in animals keep them satisfied, and its presence keep human dissatisfied, right? So this is the answer, guys, and this is very very applicable in our lives as well. So the more we want, the more dissatisfied we are. How hardly you will see anybody being satisfied completely with their life, right? So whenever we have one thing, we possess one thing, we always want the next. So there is always this want which can never be satisfied, right? Okay, so those who have reached that satisfaction level, they have become saints. But we normal human beings, we hardly have that value. Right. So next we have, what did everyone do when the pirate came? So this is from Custard, the dragon. Okay. So what did everyone do? You remember, right? Everyone started to run away, right? And who was the savior? Finally, the dragon, who was otherwise considered as a coward, he surprisingly was the savior. So when the pirate came, Belinda cried for help and became pale with fear. Mustard ran away with a terrified cry, and ink trickled to the bottom of the house, while Blink disappeared in the mouse hole. So here, these are all mentioned in the text itself. Custard jumped, sorry, in front of the pirate to confront him. So these are completely, mentioned in the text. So most of you, what will they do is they will end their answer here. But guys, if you want to create a better impression and you want to make your answer stand out, you have to add a few more things. Like, even though his longing for a safe cage has been mocked all through the poem, the moment that that custard sees the pirate, he sheds all his cowardice and gobbles the pirate up at one go, thus emerging as a brave heart. This is the lesson that Nash is trying to teach. Ogden Nash, the poet, okay? Not to judge any book by its cover. At some point or the other, the true colors of any person will shine through, whether those colors are good or bad. So here what we are doing is we are also giving in one line, just one line. I have just added 2 lines total, 2 lines in extra, right? 2 to 3 lines, right? So just if you add these simple points, try to add the lesson that you get whenever you get the scope, then the examiner will also understand that you have understood the poem. Not only you have understood the poem, you are trying to apply that in your lives as well. You have understood the lesson conveyed through the poem, right? So this will be definitely making your answer unique and different from the rest. So that is our whole point. So wherever we have the scope of creativity, let us use that. Okay. Right. Next is the question for 5 marks. Okay. It is not complaining but accepting a situation the key to happiness in life. So basically, this is elaborate in context of the poem Animals. We have understood that this is taken from the poem Animals. So this is talking about the theme. Okay, so this is a theme-based question. So instead of asking you directly what is the theme of the poem, they have already framed the theme in one line and they are telling you to explain on this, right? So basically the same answer, we will be doing the theme as well when I will be taking up the session on this poem separately. I will be doing that very soon. The syllabus has not been over yet, I know that. So now let us talk about this question. So in the poem Animals, he compares animals to human beings and differentiates between them on the basis of their characteristics. That is what he is doing in this poem. Animals have been ranked much higher. As I told you, he has kept animals in higher, in the higher pedestal than humans, right? Since animals do not complain about their situation, they are considered to be much happier. They are contented with whatever they have, right? Animals live in their natural surrounding. They accept their natural life, so they are close to nature. They are very simple. Humans, on the other hand, they have never accepted nature. They are very artificial, right? They always have a facade, okay? That is, they complain about it and they are never accepting whatever they have. They want more and more, right? So they complain about it and try to change it, leading to an unhappy life. Humans also had such an attitude earlier, this is what the poet says at the end of the poem. Okay, at the end of the poem, the poet says that maybe he questions, where did I leave these qualities? Did I carelessly drop them somewhere? This is how the poet ends the poem Animals, right? So he says that humans also had these attitude earlier, these values earlier, okay, which deteriorated with time. Because earlier, you remember, people were much more simple, right? But modernization, westernization, right? Yeah, technology, everything came. There was a complete revolution. And what happens is, of course, there's a positive side, but what happened also at the same time, as I told you, that everything has two sides, positive and negative. So pro is of course there, but the con is, people became very complicated, and nowadays people's lives have become so complicated. So, right, so that is exactly what the poet is saying, that people had this kind of attributes earlier, but now it has deteriorated. Okay, so what is the message for us? To inculcate these attributes, to inculcate these values, the simplicity, the not uncomplaining nature, right? Being truthful, leading an honest life, right? So these are the values: simplicity, honesty, okay, uh, uh, contentment, right? And other values. Okay, so these are the things which will make us happy in our life. The more simple we live, simple living, high thinking, that is the key to happiness. Okay, so complaining and cursing can never make a way, right? It only worsens the situation. Rather than complaining and rather than cursing our situation, if we face any negative situation, then any adverse situation, then what should we do? We should act for it rather than complaining, right? Otherwise it would be worsening the situation. So accepting a situation and trying to fight against the odds, that is what I said. We should be trying to overcome that challenging situation rather than sitting and just complaining and crying over it. Okay, that would certainly make it possible to find the situation, find the solution, and then we will be definitely accepting then when we will be accepting a situation, that would lead to happiness in our life. So that is what is the poem talking all about. I mean, this is what the poet is saying in this poem, right? So if you have understood this question, you have basically understood the entire theme or entire issue which has been raised in this poem. Okay guys, now the last question for today's session. The dragon Custard was considered as a coward. Okay, again, this is a theme-based question. Okay. The humble dragon proved his bravery in adversity, analyzed that certain qualities like bravery and courage are situational and spontaneous. Okay. Certain qualities like bravery, courage, they are situational and spontaneous. Okay. Express your views with reference to the poem. Let us have a look. So Custard's humbleness won everybody's heart, especially the reader's heart. He showed true bravery. He did not boast. So boast, pride. Okay, boasting, pride. Remember, I began the session with this very issue, pride, the issue of pride, hubris. Okay, so did you remember now who was the angel? Yes, I was talking about Satan. He was the brightest of all angels, but because of his hubris, because he wanted to be, he considered himself greater than God. Okay, so that is why he became so proud, and that is why he became devil later on, right? So he fell, he went down to hell. Okay, so he was, otherwise he was the brightest of all angels, right? So yes, talking about this one, they all boasted, Belinda and other pets, they all, were very proud of their bravery. But when they faced real danger, it was only Custard who had the courage to face it, right? He proved his bravery not by running away and facing the pirate and killing him. So what did he do? He took action. Okay, he acted. So action speaks louder than words, right? And he proved that. Qualities like bravery and courage can only be tested when somebody is actually put into or tested, put in a dangerous situation. Therefore, these qualities are situational, right? It becomes clear from Custard's example. Custard looked for comfort all the time, but that did not mean that he was a coward, right? So he proved, he also showed his humility. He was very humble, even when the other animals started saying that, initially they however praised Custard, but later on they again started the same thing. They started making fun of Custard. Even then he accepted that, okay, you are, you all are braver than me, you all are courageous than me. So that is what he's showing, his humility. He is showing his, down to earth nature. He's not at all proud, right? So that is the, that is actually, uh, that is what happens when, a man or a person is truly courageous, or a person is, truly knowledgeable. So you have heard the proverb, empty vessel sounds more, right? So that is quite applicable here as well. So those who make false boasts like Belinda and the other pets, they actually, when time comes, they prove, they cannot do anything, right? They run away, they disappear, and later on when the task is done, they again come back and say, okay, we could have done it, right? So that happens in, in that happens actually. We face certain situations where we face people like this, right? So in this case, what should we do? We should be also acting like Custard, accepting that, okay, but showing through our actions, right? Because no matter how much we will try to convince them through our words, they would be having no effect, right? So it's useless to actually tell them. So it's better to show through actions, because ultimately, you see, readers are, Custard is winning the hearts of the readers, not the other animals, right? Not not those who falsely boasted about their courage. Similarly, we would be rewarded, we would be appreciated one, by the one who can definitely understand, right? So that was all about the session today. I hope that was clear to you, right? And you enjoyed the session, and yes, it was helpful to you. So now we have completed the 1 mark question, 2 mark question, 3 mark question, and 5 marks question, right? So now I guess you all are prepared with both these poems. And now it's time for some homework. So do you think that one should be made fun of because of their preferences and choices in life? Explain in the context of Custard the Dragon. This is your homework, guys. Please don't forget to comment on the homework a question in the comment section, right? And before you go, guys, let me remind you all that our next session is going to be on Glimpses of India, part 1, 2, and 3. Right? We have taken all the 3 chapters, that is Baker from Goa, Kurg, and one more, Assam, tea from Assam, right? So we will be dealing with all of them in the next session, guys. So please do not miss that session. And if you have already missed, if you've not seen the previous session, the 100 dresses, please do visit that as well. Right? And before you go, guys, please don't forget to visit the link in the description box and pin comment and use the coupon code SWRPRO, and do share this video amongst your friends so that they are also equally prepared. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, guys, don't forget to subscribe. And thank you so much for being such an amazing class. Take care. Bye-bye. See you all.